Major General Rwigema, the architect of liberation and the evolution of tactical leadership, the history of modern East African warfare is incomplete without a rigorous analysis of Major General Rwigema. He was not merely a soldier, he was a foundational military theorist whose synthesis of guerrilla tactics and conventional discipline forged the backbone of two national armies, the National Resistance Army, NRA, of Uganda, and the Rwandan Patriotic Army, RPA. Rwigema's legacy is defined by a rare combination of tactical brilliance, empathetic command, and a pan-African strategic vision. To understand his impact, we must dissect the maneuvers that defined his career and how they translated into a blueprint for modern military excellence. 1. The genesis of a tactician, for NASA and the NRA. Rwigema's military education began in the crucible of the Mozambican War of Independence, where he trained with Frelimo. This experience instilled in him the Maoist doctrine of protracted people's war, where the population is the sea and the soldier is the fish, the Luwero Triangle, mobility versus attrition. During the Ugandan Bush War, 1981 to 1986, Rwigema emerged as a master of high-mobility warfare. While the Ugandan government forces, UNLA, relied on heavy artillery and static defenses, Rwigema's units operated on the principle of fluidity, ambushes, and disruption. He perfected the art of the hit and run to demoralize better-equipped opponents. By targeting supply lines rather than fortified positions, he achieved strategic gains with minimal casualties. The decoy maneuver, Rwigema, was known for using small detachments to draw enemy fire, creating an opening for a larger hammer force to strike from the flank. 2. The philosophy of charismatic command. Military leadership often oscillates between the authoritarian and the bureaucratic. Rwigema occupied a third space, charismatic command. Leading from the front, unlike traditional generals who managed battles from distant command posts, Rwigema was frequently at the point of the spear. This was not recklessness. It was a calculated psychological tool. In irregular warfare, the morale of the insurgent is the most critical variable. By sharing the hardships of his foot soldiers, Rwigema built an unbreakable bond of loyalty. The soldier-citizen concept, Rwigema pioneered a strict code of conduct, the NRA's code of conduct, that forbade the mistreatment of civilians. He understood that tactical victory is hollow without political legitimacy. This focus on hearts and minds ensured that as his forces moved, they inherited a supportive intelligence network, the ultimate force multiplier. 3. Transitioning to conventional power, 1986 to 1990. Following the NRA's victory in 1986, Rwigema served as Uganda's Deputy Minister of Defense. This period highlighted his ability to transition from a guerrilla commander to a formal military administrator. Integration tactics. He successfully managed the integration of diverse rebel factions into a national army. This required a delicate balance of political savvy and military discipline. Professionalization. He laid the groundwork for the formal training structures of the Uganda People's Defense Force, UPDF, emphasizing that a modern army must be an intellectual institution as much as a physical one. 4. The Rwandan Patriotic Front, a strategic masterstroke. Rwigema's most significant strategic vision was the liberation of Rwanda. As the founding commander of the RPA, he faced a monumental task, launching an invasion against a well-entrenched, French-backed regime, the October 1990 invasion. Though Rwigema fell in the early days of the conflict, his fingerprints were all over the initial strategy. He chose the Kagitumba border crossing for its symbolic and tactical value, aiming to seize a foothold that could be expanded into a permanent liberated zone. His death on the second day of the invasion, October 2, 1990, was a catastrophic blow, yet the organizational resilience he built allowed the RPA to regroup under his successor, Paul Kagame. The fact that the army did not collapse speaks to the depth of the leadership Cadre Rwigema had cultivated. 5. The legacy, modern East African military excellence. Today, the military doctrines of Rwanda and Uganda are global benchmarks for peacekeeping and counterinsurgency. This East African model traces its lineage directly to Rwigema's principles. 1. Self-reliance, the idea that African problems require African military solutions. 2. Discipline over hardware, the belief that a highly disciplined, ideologically clear soldier is superior to an undisciplined one with advanced weaponry. 3. Intellectualism in command, encouraging officers to be scholars of history and politics, not just ballistics. 6. Conclusion, the eternal general. Major General Rwigema remains a titan of African history because he understood that a gun is only as effective as the hand that holds it and the heart that drives it. His tactical maneuvers secured borders, but his vision for a professional, disciplined, and politically conscious military secured the future of a region. In the study of military leadership, Rwigema represents the bridge between the revolutionary struggles of the 20th century and the professionalized defense forces of the 21st century. He was a general who fought not for the sake of war, but for the possibility of a lasting peace. A soldier must be a servant of the people, not their master. The guiding ethos of Rwigema's command.